Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody. How we doing today, Las Vegas? It's Sunday morning. We all know what that means.
What's that mean?
Well,
what does that mean?
I mean, first go to church, but
well, yeah, right, of course.
But you know, while you're riding in, and you know, when you get done with that early morning service, you should be listening to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. It is the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Jam-packed show today. Probably going to have an even more jammy-packed show next week. It's going to be something else. But
jammy packed?
Yeah, jammy-packed.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah, you're in your,
solid.
you know, it's really, really shoved together.
Well, with us all being in our jammies right now, it probably makes sense.
That's why we're
yeah,
these?
I think that's why we're doing it.
See, those Washington Commanders things that you're wearing, Brian Ronovich.
Don't be jealous.
You know, is more.
Be jealous.
You know, you could just
don't be jealous.
You know, taking that off some homeless guy down on Owen Street.
Damn.
Hey, 2 teams beat the Eagles last year. Don't forget that. Us and the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, you know, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
3 Super Bowls.
Very true.
I got to fall back on 3 Super Bowls from the last one was 30 years ago.
Right, exactly. That's a long fallback.
What are we talking about? Football here, fellas?
Yeah.
Looks like it. No, I didn't.
No,
start
I
it.
Is
just
this
have
a football
to,
show? I don't know.
I didn't
because I'm gonna
start
clock
it.
out.
I didn't start it. Me too.
Okay.
I have to give Brian crud about
Oh yeah,
that.
every time any outfit I wear, he doesn't like it. So.
Well, yeah, because it's all Washington.
Yeah, you know.
He's got a lot of opinions. He wanted me to turn my hat on
for
correctly.
real,
Yeah.
for real.
I mean, come on, Mark.
You had that the David difference over there. Had his hat at probably about, I want to say you were about a 35 to 40 degree angle.
Yeah.
Really got to get that in the 20s.
All right, I'll work on it.
Because he was in the mix.
You know.
I'm gonna get written up.
Oh my God! But yeah, we're gonna have a great show for you today. Of course, I'm Mark Hoke, the David Difference, Brian Ronovich from LasVegasWrestlingScene.com. Awesome site. Check it out. See everything that's going on here in Las Vegas for professional wrestling. It's amazing. Great site.
Appreciate it.
You're
a lot
welcome.
coming up.
Yeah, there is a lot coming. We're gonna talk all about that this show. But I have to say, very excited about the interview that we got to do on Tuesday that we will be playing for you today. Are you ready?
Epic.
Are you sure you're ready?
Epic.
Saraya from AEW, of course, for those of you WWE fans that may not have been following for a while, it used to be Paige. So be ready for that. We're going to have that interview in the second hour. And boy, she had a lot to say, didn't she?
Oh, yeah. No, it was an amazing interview. And it's interesting because she said she still, like, pops for Paige when people call her Paige. Like, that's still her name.
Probably takes a long time to
Yeah,
get used to not hearing that anymore, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's like she's only going by her name now, you know?
Right. It was a beautiful interview, great energy, and a lot of good insider stuff there. I loved it. Great times.
Yeah,
Awesome.
So we'll be hearing from Saraya in the second hour of the show, so make sure you guys stick around for that because it's, man, you better be ready. That's all I'm going to say. You better be ready. So how about we dive into some of the news of the week, boys, because this is Memorial Day weekend has now turned into Pro Wrestling Central.
Mm-hmm.
Not just here in Las Vegas, but you know all over the world. As WWE, of course, decided to get in on the act, and they're going to be having Night of Champions on Saturday. So we're going to take a little bit and break that card down this hour. So we'll discuss that. But you know, first I want to lead with a little AEW stuff.
Okay.
All right.
So Mr. Brooks, our good buddy CM Punk, is. I don't know, depending on what your opinion is, if he's causing issues or he's just kind of trying to figure some stuff out to come back in the correct way. But a lot of reports are coming out of AEW that, of course, CM Punk was pretty much scheduled to come back on this brand new show on in a few weeks on Saturdays, AEW Collision. That was the plan. Well, now apparently he is not sure if he wants to do it or not. And believe it or not, guys, it's because of Ace Steel. Ace, of course, was a former wrestler, is a trainer, and works very heavily with Punk as one of his best friends. And he got caught up in that whole thing at All Out last year and actually bit Kenny Omega in that fight. Went all chompers on him.
Right.
So apparently there's a dispute on how much involvement that AEW wants him to have, because the rumors are saying that they don't want him in any of the live tapings. They just want to kind of keep him separate from everybody for a while because there's a ton of heat there. And Punk is saying, no, he's going to be there. And then the rumor had it that he had already been hired back by AEW. He was a coach there. So this whole situation is getting to be a mess, a real mess. And considering that Warner Brothers Discovery, the TV company that has TBS and TNT, wants Punk on there, this is a really odd situation. So, David, I'll start off with you. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? And is CM Punk really worth the trouble?
Well, let me see. Yeah, yes, I believe so. I think definitely, like, it's the energy. I think it's all the work, man. I mean, if we know he's coming back, then it's like, okay, he's going to show up. But there's got to be some build up to it, which we're doing now. Willie, is he going to? What's he need this time? And I think they know bottom line is good for business. AEW knows it's good for business. Punk knows that he's got the upper hand in this as well. And it kind of seems familiar. Like, that's kind of his MO. It's like he always has all the full deck, he's playing with that. So, yeah, I think it's a good business move. I definitely know we'll see him, and I think it's just all part of the strategy in the show.
Yeah, and Brian, we're also hearing some rumors that, and I think it was Wade Keller from PWI reported that, there are a lot of talents in AEW that would prefer to just not have him back. He's got that locker room really split, and he's obviously a polarizing figure no matter what. But do you want that polarized locker room? Are you willing to risk it and risk the volatility that you're apparently seeing to get Punk back on TV?
Well, I don't think that it's certainly no surprise that the locker room is fractured. I mean, obviously. So I don't even really think that's news. I think that's obvious. I agree with Dave. I think that when this is all planned out by Punk, I think he thinks all of this stuff through. He knew it was going to happen when he did when he had the press conference. Like, this guy's not dumb. Right. And AEW knew what they were getting when they signed him. That was my first reaction when they signed Punk was, well, I hope they know what they're getting. Like, they should know what they're getting.
Right.
We all remember the pipe bomb, and you only have to go by that. He'll go on national TV and blast you live. So all of this other stuff shouldn't be a surprise. But let's be honest. The guy's going to sell tickets. If he's in a match, people are going to watch. They're going to want to see him. They're going to want to watch the scrum afterwards. They're going to want to hear everything he has to say. The guy is a magnet for the attention and for everything that AEW wants. Like, they have a guy. Of course, fracturing the locker room is not good. But if you think to yourself, if Tony Khan thinks to himself, well, maybe we can work this out. Maybe we can get Punk to come back. We can soften the locker room. Like, that could be the easiest thing. Trying to fight to get him on TV is a whole nother challenge. Mm-hmm. He can already be on TV. So if you can smooth out the locker room, which is what I would be saying if it was my staff, I'd be like, look, I can talk to the people that are mad. I can try to work this out. I can separate them. I can find... That's what I would be saying. So to me, I think it's if he wants to come back and they're willing to do it, I would do it in a heartbeat.
See, one thing that is bothering me about this is there are reports saying because of the tension between Punk and the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, that they are trying to keep them completely separated. They apparently haven't met. Punk had that meeting with Chris Jericho, and they supposedly smoothed things out, but from what I've been reading, they've been just saying, you over here, and the twain shall not cross for a while. And it's, this just seems like a really odd situation that I don't know. I mean, it still looks like a powder keg to me. Well, I mean, I think you've either got to A, cut it loose, or B, okay, guys, enough. We're not going to play the separates game, and I'm going to put you here and you be on this show and you. No, we're all in the same company, so get on the same page, and that's it. You know, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of you got to pull the team together one way or another. And if somebody's not going to be professional, you know, then it has to be handled.
Well, how much? I mean, wrestling these days is, I want to say, probably 80% behind the scenes news that's happening. So, like, it's almost transformed into like what we see scripted on air to like the behind the scenes is the entertainment aspect of it. I think they got a huge opportunity to run with storylines down the line where everybody can make more money.
If I can't believe they haven't already booked Punk versus Omega.
Right.
Like, honestly, like that would be the biggest match in AEW history. It's not even close.
I think it's coming, though.
I do, too, and that's what I was going to say is, like, we fall into this backstage drama when most of the time it's a work.
Right.
And we think it's this, but it's really that. Like, when MGF went through all that stuff with the girlfriend, and all of a sudden he was posing pictures with her, and, I asked her to marry me. I was watching this, and everyone's like, oh, my gosh, I'm like, it's a work.
Right.
And then she dumped him. It was so obvious, but so often you get roped into it and you're like, oh my gosh, and I'm not saying there isn't real heat. The best matches have real heat. So to me, Punk Omega, that's a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer. And I think that's why AEW is still going, well, you know, we'll see what we're going to do. And this might be a match by the end of the year.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think it
has to be.
At All In, you really should be seeing, I would think, Omega and the Bucks against FTR and Punk. I mean, to me, not putting that match on the card is the no-brainer to me.
When's All In, though?
In August.
Oh, okay, you got some time then.
Yeah,
okay.
But that match should be made. You know, as long as you get all this worked
3
out.
months away, yeah, I could see it 3 months. I thought maybe if it was June or something, that would have been bad. But 3 months from Double or Nothing, I think would work. You'd have a little bit of time.
Yeah, that would be. I would imagine that the last tickets at Wembley Stadium will go poof if that match gets announced.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Well, I mean, Omega and the Bucks have to understand where, like, are you in this to just wrestle who you want, or are you in this to make money for AEW? Like, if they're executive VPs, they should be thinking about the money. And Kenny Omega versus CM Punk 1v1 is arguably the best match to be made right now, sans Cody Roman 2. And it might be too early for that.
Well, do we really think that, like, okay, so it's wrestling. A backstage fight is going to lead to this much, you know, I'm sure they're over it to a point. Like, you can't hold that much animosity. I mean, I was at the Nighthawks game with Mark last night. He bit me on my shoulder, and I'm here today because it's business. You know, we get past
that.
You know?
We're all used to Mark biting us, though. So it's
right. That's part of the business.
I think that's why he wanted us to wear pajamas today.
I have not taken a chunk out of anybody.
Well,
shame on you guys for insinuating my cannibalism.
I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like, I really think they hype it up more than what it is. They probably all talked and was like, whatever, let's go. But let's use this.
Yes.
Let's use this. I mean, come on. It's marketing. It's branding. It's like, come on.
You leave the heat.
Yeah.
Punk leaves. He doesn't leave as the sympathetic character.
Right.
He goes off as the villain. Like, the heat's there. Oh, it was a fight, and the elite's mad, and these guys are upset, and this, and this group is behind him, and they're, oh my gosh,
that's a story.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
And the funny part is that there are people out there that just hate both sides of this,
but still want to see the match.
Yeah, they want to see
like
the match.
I do.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, when you're standing around in high school, and you know the two bullies are kind of getting ready to gear it up, and you just want to see them beat the crud out of each other and end up in the hospital.
Right.
Both of them.
Yes, I would like to see two guys. You know what? I'd like to see two guys wrestle in a match that don't talk about how beautiful it was at the end. Like, I would like to see some animosity and some heat in the match. Like, that's not, you don't need it in every match, but like, let's see Kenny Omega fight somebody. A lot of times it's, although that Moxley Cage that Moxley Cage match was pretty good, but
yes, it was.
I want to see Omega and against Punk, and where he doesn't have the cage, where he doesn't have Moxley, he doesn't like the guy, and they go to battle. Because that's what it would be. It would be borderline shoot.
You look at McGregor when he attacked the bus, and, like, come on.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, right.
Smacked the old man in the bar.
Yeah, the build up to that fight. I mean, come on. That was just, you would think this is criminal charges. He's going to jail. He's done. He's never going to fight again. That's just hype for the.
My thought is, I bet the people in the bus knew he was going to do that. That wouldn't surprise me either. Like this stuff is so rigged.
Yeah.
Like you, who knows? We see it all the time on video. These fake, I just saved this animal when they threw the dog in the water.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did you see? I saw the clip. And this is totally off topic, but Mr. Nanny with the Hulk Hogan movie. There's like a scene where he's riding on the bike and some dude is just throwing a dog in the ocean.
No.
We all forgot about Mr. Nanny.
Yeah, sorry, man.
I just saw a clip of it, man. Go back and watch it.
Your
Mr.
movie
Nanny.
knowledge is solid.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for it.
Oh, a true Hulkamaniac.
I was talking
right
about
there.
Hulk Hogan movies yesterday because we were comparing, me and my friend were comparing The Rock and his movie career and Hulk Hogan. And I said The Rock was incredible because, you know, he's really like the first pro wrestler, at least of this generation, to break through.
To be a star.
And not just break through, but become the man in Hollywood. I said, and then you look at Hulk Hogan. Most of his movies are terrible. I mean, his best movie was Rocky III, and it was a bit part, and he was playing himself.
Correct. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, his movies were.
Yeah, No Holds Barred did not get an
Awful.
Academy Award nomination.
Awful.
Oh, that was, wow. I still remember the hype around that too. It was, you know, it's like, you know, getting ready for this movie for 5 months and building a pay-per-view around it. And
But I was juiced. I was juiced as a kid. I remember seeing it not being like, I probably watched it 100 times. But yeah, I mean,
I bought everything as a Hulkamaniac. I'm like, oh, he's in the movie. He's a good actor. I used to say that all the time. No, he's a good actor. I'm like, Letty, you're 12. He's not a good actor.
Here's my Hulk Hogan can of spinach. I can't wait to buy it. That's how bad it was, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we need to get a break in. When we come back, we are going to discuss Night of Champions. And in case you didn't see it, we have a title vacancy in WWE, unfortunately. Very terrible story. So, well, not terrible, but disappointing. So when we come back, we will discuss that and a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. Brian Ronovich, the David Difference, and myself, Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back on the other side. The Mark Hoke Show is proud to announce our partnership with pro wrestling's premier charity, the Cauliflower Alley Club. For nearly 60 years, the CAC has stood strong, assisting members of the wrestling industry in their times of need. Please join us in supporting the Cauliflower Alley Club by becoming a member for just $25 a year or make an individual donation today. Go to caulifloweralleyclub.org and give back to the people that have brought us so much entertainment and joy in pro wrestling. Once again, that's caulifloweralleyclub.org.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, here on 101.5 FM KDAWN. And for those billions of people out there that are listening on the Odyssey app.
Hello.
Very important. You got to download that Odyssey app. And unlike some people I know, trust me, it's very easy to find this. All you have to do is, punch in KDAWN 101.5 FM for stations on the app, or you can just go to shows and type in The Mark Hoke Show, and boom, there you are. Listen live. Listen whenever you want.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, we got our podcast, markhokeshow.podbean.com is the main source, and you can go to many of your favorite podcast sites and find us. Start downloading those shows, guys. They're great. And, we got, Dave, I think we've got about 100 I think this is going to be show 118 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Plus some of them split 2 hours. So there's a lot of material out there for you to listen to.
There is a huge catalog of the Mark Hoke Show. And, I've been going through it, man. I called out sick from work several days just to listen to this.
Over and over again.
Yeah, nonstop.
Same here.
I don't blame you.
I took a leave of absence for it, and I'm still recovering.
Yeah. I
this
used
is
all
your
my
fault,
PTO.
Mark, now.
Well,
that's why I didn't get paid for 3 weeks.
Well, you better get paid because, if you guys get hungry, you might need to buy some breakfast or go grab lunch, and you got to do that at Unique Eats, 3100 South Durango. Very important. Unbelievable food over there. Great breakfast, omelets, pancakes bigger than Dave's head.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You don't say.
No, I'm dead serious, actually. Not that Dave has a huge head
I mean,
or anything like that. But I'm not going to bury myself on this read. But and Celebrity Chef Dominic Tedesco does these pizzas that he has won international competitions. They are unreal. Smoothie bar, you can get booze over there too. They do jazz on Sundays. It is terrific. So get on over there to Unique Eats at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100, and you can check out the menu and everything they have going on at uniqueeatslv.com. So there you go.
Yeah, it sounds good. Do I have a big head?
no.
Okay, because now I'm going to have a comment. You could have said like Andre the Giant's hand or something, but you're going to take a shot at me, Mark?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that was a direct shot.
Yeah.
I took that as a total shot.
Oh, man.
Well,
Now,
For
now
sure.
I'm depressed.
Unnecessary.
well, Brian has a tiny head.
My
so
head is huge. I would have understood if you'd have said mine. I'm like, well, yeah, it's a big pancake.
mine's bloated, but a little bit less, and we'll tell everybody why later in the show.
I mean, Dave can at least wear snapback hats.
Right.
I can't wear
You
a
can't.
snapback hat.
No.
It's like on the last one, and it's
Gotta
hanging
tape it.
on for dear life. Yeah.
So, yeah, come on, Mark. I'm sensitive about my head size.
Now you know what not to talk about.
Dear Lord, what did I do? Anyway, Night of Champions is coming up here on Saturday at 1 o'clock our time, I believe it is. Or no, it's 1 o'clock Eastern, if I remember right. I'll have to double check that. But a pretty interesting card coming up on there. One match that I was kind of surprised they couldn't throw on there real quick was we have an injury that is going to cost Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships.
Oh.
Apparently she got hurt on the SmackDown episode on the 12th, and they've announced those titles have been vacated. So the WWE Women's Tag Team titles continue to be snake bit, fellas. It's unbelievable. But we're going to have a four-way match on Raw scheduled for the 29th, and that will be Raquel Rodriguez and a mystery partner, and Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, and Io Sky and Bayley, Damage Control, and Sonya Deville teaming with Chelsea Green to determine new champions. So, I mean, that's not a bad match.
Yeah.
Anybody?
I'm not a fan of four-way tag matches. I've talked about this before. It just turns into a battle royal, and then you have one. I've just never been a fan of those matches. What do you guys think of the women's tag titles? You said it's snake bit, and I feel like they forced it. Like I just didn't think they were necessary, and there's been just tons of problems with it since. It seems like.
I think you got to find your footing on it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think it's warranted. It needs to be there. You just got to with anything new, right? You're gonna find what works and what doesn't. So I think it'd take a minute to warm up to it. But I don't know. There's just always too many belts happening.
Yeah, and that's kind of my beef. I think that you have to have a developed division before you go and have champions. That's
Right.
my opinion, and I just think they did it. I'm not saying you can't have one. Like, I like the idea of a women's tag title.
You don't like
but
it.
Right, I hate it. I think it was a terrible idea from the very beginning. Right. No reason at all to have it. No. But I think you should have a developed division, though. I mean, I think they could have had, go into starting to develop women's tag teams and just get people excited about the division. And then you go into a tournament of some sort with 4 or 5 teams that people are interested in. Then they care about who wins the tag titles. You had the Iconics, weren't they? I never thought they were very good. And here they are, tag champions. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think the one difficulty that we have with the women's tag team titles in WWE is that you just don't have established teams.
Correct.
Exactly.
Growing up, we had the Rock and Roll Express, we had the Road Warriors. I mean, those are
Bulldogs.
those are tag teams.
Yeah.
A lot of the tag teams that you have with women, you don't have those, those two that stay together. I mean, from any scene at all. The Iconics were probably the closest ones that, they got developed in NXT, and you've got some other ones coming up from NXT too, but it was sad because Raquel and Liv were really starting to get over, and then this happens. You had Naomi and Sasha Banks, and they had their little kerfuffle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that derailed it. I like the idea, and I think it's good for the women, but it is a little difficult. But I will say this out of this group, we have Chelsea and Sonya have been teaming together for a little bit and working together.
100%. And here's the thing with women's wrestling, though. is women's tag team wrestling wasn't even really, I mean, women's wrestling up until, maybe the early 80s was a throw-in match on a card.
Right.
Like they would get a big name female wrestler and she'd be on the card, and then they'd have them wrestle a local wrestler or something like that. And those matches were thrown on the card. Men's wrestling has been developing tag team wrestling for 70 years. Like there's been established teams since the 70s. If you look back in history, women didn't have any of that. So they're literally beginning their tag team history, 4 years ago? When you think of like actually making the effort to put together female teams in the schools, all the way from whether you're looking at NXT or you're looking at if you're looking at FSW.
Right.
That's kind of my point. Like
it's
not being developed, or at least it wasn't developed back then, and I think has a lot to do with it.
And there's an opportunity there for people out there.
Sure. Like if tag team wrestling is different than singles. You have to understand tag team wrestling. You have to know how to work in and out, quick tags, things like that. That's all part of it. And putting together double teams, and like that's a whole different situation. Like you mentioned, the Rock and Roll Express, they've wrestled together for 50 years.
Yeah.
Like it's not the women's fault.
Well, I think
that's not what you know what I mean.
Like teams now, it's like you just put two people together and get out there and tag each other and do something. So, and then at some point they're going to split off or just disappear as a team. It's like there's no, the British Bulldogs, Demolition,
FTR,
everybody. Yeah, it was just like this is a team. You don't. That's very rare. Even with Sasha and it was like let's put them together and that's cool. But they don't have that synergy. They don't have, it's not like it doesn't seem like they're on the same page.
And that's why I like Ronda and Shayna.
Oh,
that's a natural team that people understand. Two MMA fighters.
Yes.
Same, very similar styles in the ring.
Mentality.
That team really works. And
yes.
I won't be surprised if they're the ones, as long as Ronda's recovered from that broken hand, that they're the ones that end up winning these belts. I think that was kind of the plan anyway. So we'll see how that goes. But can't get that resolved on Night of Champions. Not enough time, I suppose. But guys, the card coming up on Night of Champions, here's where we are at the moment. Right now, 5 matches on the card. We've got Seth Rollins and AJ Styles for the bronze medal. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? I did.
We had to get that World Heavyweight Championship mentioned today, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We just had to.
Yes, we did. Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar in their fight, whatever they're calling it. We have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the Bloodline, and that is Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa for the tag titles. Gunther will be taking on Mustafa Ali, who managed to steal away a shot at the belt this week. So Mustafa Ali will be taking on Gunther for the Intercontinental title, and Bianca Belair and Asuka, that bad Asuka who spoiled Bianca's celebration in Knoxville. And by the way, I want to say Bianca did a great job on that when she got sprayed with a mist. I don't know if you guys saw that, but man, she was screaming and twitching and all sorts of stuff, man.
That's what I would have. If anybody spits on me, I would lose my mind. I don't do well with stuff like that. So
But that was pretty cool. She did a nice job with that. So, guys, what are your thoughts on Night of Champions coming up? What are you excited about? What are you about? What do you think?
I think I believe that it'll be a good show overall. I think the main match I'm looking forward to is the tag title match. I mean, the main event, right? So Solo and Reigns taking on those other two clowns.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it. I'm over them. I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, I mean, there's so much going on this week. Like, that's the only match I want to see.
Yeah.
I got other stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm all about Solo. Sikoa.
Yeah, that's my guy right there.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know.
Awesome. He might be the one that beats Reigns. I know he might be the one. Like
it's looking like it, right?
Man, oh man! But that's always that red herring too. Like you're like, oh, they want you to start to think it's somebody else, and you start looking in that direction, and it goes back to what we talked about, like what you just said, like, well, when's the breakup coming?
Right.
When's the fight coming? Like you don't invest in it because you know something's going to happen.
Right.
That's how I feel about Zayn and Owens too. I think we watch that knowing they're going to have another match because This always happens. It's like Edge and Christian. It seems like, those two always seem to break up at some point, and not quite like Zayn and Owens, but in the same.
Well, that's just their history. Like, I've had girlfriends where we just go back and forth, break up, get back together, break up, get back. Right. It's toxic, is what I'm saying.
Well, I'm not going to say that, they're all both Canadian teams, too. Like, that could have something to do with it. I'm just kidding.
Let's not go there, man.
I'm just kidding.
Man. We got, how many fans we got in Canada?
I don't
dislike
Canadians.
This guy's going to talk like that?
A lot.
I'm just making a joke.
Oh.
I like both teams. I do, but we're just I'm a big USA hockey fan. So if I have an opportunity to dig Canadian hockey, even if it's Canadian wrestlers, I'll do it.
Fair enough. I think it's Beth Phoenix's fault that Edge and Christian keep fighting.
That could be.
Blame her.
All right.
Blame her. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to watch the matches. Like, the bloodline situation. Apparently, we're hearing is going to be setting up the bloodline split match between the Usos and then Roman and Solo at SummerSlam. So that's kind of a good one. Ali gets his chance in the sun, so good for him. We'll see how he handles.
Hasn't he been trying to get fired for a year and a half?
Oh, who knows? I don't know. But, a rematch with Bianca and Asuka I think is going to be good. That was a terrific match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I'll look forward to seeing those two go at it again. And Seth and AJ is going to be a good match.
No doubt about it.
From what I'm hearing, that's going to be the last match for the night. And
for the bronze medal, it should be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so, but it's going to be fun. And unfortunately, by the way, Seth is going to be missing the lead up again on TV because he's filming in Captain America: New World Order.
Seth's acting now? I didn't know that. Is this his first movie?
I don't know, but
that's a small part, I believe.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, he's stuck filming, so he's not going to be part of the hype this week. But interesting stuff. So he's going to be taking on Captain America, apparently.
Oh, no. And speaking of Canadians, let me be clear too. I love Bret Hart. Like, he's one of my all-time favorites. So I don't want to sound like I'm.
How about Natty? Is Natty okay?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, you better say that.
Yeah, she's great.
All right. So there's Night of
Jericho
and Hart Foundation. Jericho, love Jericho. Yeah.
Lance Storm.
Well, because I went earlier and said I'm not really a Kenny Omega fan, and then I came back and and I didn't diss the teams.
You just dissed the nation. That's
right.
what you did.
Just the country.
Maybe an official apology over the next
Canada.
break. Over the next break, write up an official apology to Canada, man. Please.
I apologize for the words that came out of my mouth. I don't usually use that language, but it just I got caught up in the moment.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
Absolutely. Why not?
Well, before we tick off another nation, how about we take a break on the Mark Hoke Show? We will be back with more talking Double or Nothing here in town. The card has expanded significantly over the past week, and I got to tell you, I'm now pumped up for this one. I am ready to go to T-Mobile next weekend. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. Brian Ronovich, David Difference, myself, Mark Hoke, thanks for being with us. We will be right back. Tired of the same boring food when you're out for breakfast or lunch? I'm Mark Hoke, and I have an idea for a different place to go with unique food you're sure to enjoy, and that's Unique Eats. Take some time out of your busy day and stop on in to Unique Eats, featuring celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco and his friendly staff. Whether it's a great start to your day with one of Unique Eats' amazing omelets, or lunch with his incredible sandwiches, pasta, and award-winning pizzas, you'll be in for a fantastic dining experience that won't break the bank. Unique Eats also features a smoothie bar and full vegetarian menu as well. Plus, if you need catering, you can count on Unique Eats no matter what the occasion. So what are you waiting for? Get on over to Unique Eats at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100, open daily until 3 p.m. Call them at 702-992-3038 or visit UniqueEatsLV.com for their full menu and catering info. Break out of the same old routine and have a great meal at Unique Eats today.
In a kayfabe world, LasVegasWrestlingScene.com brings you the real story. Las Vegas Wrestling Scene is the source for pro wrestling news, along with their up-to-date events calendar. Visit LasVegasWrestlingScene.com.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we are returning here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM. The talk of Las Vegas. All sorts of great programming on this station, but we're the best.
Not this good, though.
No.
Not as good as us.
Not even close.
That's why we kick things off.
That's right.
Agreed.
We run the roost around here.
That's right. We get you excited for work tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
Agreed.
So tell all your friends about your new wrestling knowledge you've obtained.
That's right. Because you got 3 good sources here.
Agreed.
You know, Brian, between you and I, we know a lot about wrestling.
I don't know what's happening.
Why is he going after you, Dave?
He bites me last night, and I let that go.
But you accused me of biting you in a
What
public forum.
What do you call it? What do you call
I
it,
didn't
Mark?
do any. There was no nibbling, nothing. What are you talking about?
Mark's like, I call it a bro hug.
Oh,
Yeah, man. I don't know where you're from, brother. But I let it go, man. Let's just let it go, man.
it's
Let's
all
move
good.
on.
But we had a great time, by the way, at the Nighthawks game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We was in there. FSW heavyweight champion Ice Williams was in the building last night.
Nice. Oh, well, then that's it. That's the only reason you needed to go.
Right.
If you could
Just
see
to
Ice.
see him,
Yeah, Braxton was there. Kenny King. We had an awesome time up there. It was fun.
Very
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, the whole crew, man.
it was
Sounds
fun.
like it.
Nice little
Sounds like
team
it.
builder, to get out
Oh,
sometime.
definitely.
And Jay Holiday in the building, man.
Oh,
we spent about an hour looking for food and drinks. In
And
there,
Jay found his way in, of course. You know it.
Absolutely.
You know he's gonna.
Yeah, it's
You know,
good
He's a
times.
good dude, though.
Let me
I like
give
him.
somebody a heads up. If you're in Las Vegas and you go there, we're talking about the Dollar Loan Center. I'm just going to give you guys some Las Vegas game.
Okay.
Dollar Loan Center Arena. Lots of sports going on out there. But somebody's told me the food is expensive, and I went there and I realized that. But then check this out:
It's true.
$35. They got a deal at a restaurant down first floor. $35, all you can eat and drink soda and water. All you can eat and drink, and it's like a full menu of food. $45 includes alcohol. All you can eat. So $35 and $45, get that deal. The David difference done told you
Just
that.
mention his name, and they'll give
Right.
you that deal.
Yeah.
And you know what the best part is? If you do that, you're going to have money left over to bet on wrestling this weekend,
Here we go.
which is
perfect.
fantastic on betonline.ag. If you want to head over to go to markhokeshow.com, click on one of our banners over there, and head on over to betonline.ag. All the odds are up right now for Double or Nothing and Night of Champions, plus NXT's card this week. They got Battleground, if I remember right. A whole lot of neat stuff up there. So just click on that. When you get there, put in the code BOL1000, and you can get a matching bonus of 50% up to $1,000. So you put in $1,000, you can get $500. I just handed all of you $500. So,
Nice.
but I need you guys to go to our website first. Click on that because then we get credit for it. So we would certainly appreciate it. But it's betonline.ag, and all those odds are up there. They're pretty fascinating. It's just fun to even look at them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
sure.
so we've got Double or Nothing coming up here in Las Vegas on Sunday, which is going to be blast. So we will be able to head from the show over to the arena. That's going to be fun. But the card, we only had, I think, 2 matches official on the card now.
Right.
Well, now we got 9.
Oh, wow, that was quick.
And I'll run it down for you real fast, and you guys can kind of give me your thoughts on this card. The AEW World Championship is on the line in the Pillars match. MJF defends against Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and Darby Allin. FTR defends the Tag Team Championships against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Double guitar shots this week. And Mark Briscoe will be the special guest referee on that one.
Dope.
Oh, yeah.
Wardlow, with Arn Anderson in his corner, will be defending against Christian Cage. Thought this was going to be Luchasaurus, but it's going to be Christian Cage with Luchasaurus in the corner. And that's going to be a ladder match for the TNT title. So that should be a lot of fun. Orange Cassidy will defend his AEW International Championship in a 21-man blackjack battle royal.
Nice.
So I guess all these wins that he's stacking up, now he wants to take on 20 guys at once.
I like it. That's ambitious, man.
So
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
it is. Is this a continuation of the original Casino Battle Royal that they
Some-
had in
yeah, something like
2019?
that. Yeah.
Except it's a title match now?
Yep. Jamie Hayter defends her women's championship against Toni Storm, who got the fall on Britt Baker in that tag match this week on Dynamite. The Blackpool Combat Club, which consists of Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta, takes on the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, of course, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Adam Page, who has rejoined the Elite. So, and that will be an Anarchy in the Arena match. If you were there last year, if they top that, oh my God, because that was a lot of fun. Jade Cargill will be defending her TBS title against Taya Valkyrie. So that should be fun.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Ethan Page and the Guns take on the Hardy Party, which is the Hardys and Isaiah Cassidy. If Hardy Party wins, another contract gets shifted. Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract. And then in an unsanctioned match, Adam Cole and Chris Jericho. Like the card, guys? David, how you feeling about that?
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm excited, to see how it turns out. It seems like every match is kind of pretty much stacked. So that whole card, there's a lot of going on. Mario, like Super Mario over here. There's a lot of going on, and I'm excited about this one. I think that everything's got a stipulation, and it's just going to be exciting to see. I'm looking forward to that Jericho match.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty solid card. I mean, do you guys, are we just biased here? But isn't Double or Nothing that's like their feature show, right?
What?
That's their top show, right?
Yeah.
Double or Nothing, it should be.
Well, All
I
Out
was
is
whispering
their-
it so no one would hear.
It's all good. All Out is their typical
And they
number
heard,
one.
man.
It's kind of
They
their
heard.
best show.
Yeah.
No, but I think it is. I mean, this was where they did their first pay-per-view. You can call All In, but All In wasn't the first All In was not an AEW show. This one is. Double or Nothing was. So this was where they did their first one. Their first press conference was here.
Right. Yeah, I
There's
just
an
saw
article
that
about
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Las
go
Vegas
figure.
Wrestling Scene.com. I
What
just
do
saw
you
an article,
know?
man, and I read it, and it was well written.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, you wrote that?
I did.
My
I wrote.
guy.
Surprising, right? Well, Dino Marks had a piece of it too because he went to the original press conference. So when I was putting the article together, I asked him. I said, "Hey, do you have anything?
The photos.
Did you?" And he's like, "Yeah, and I even have photos." So I said, "Hey, we'll write something up on the press conference. I'll cover the other part, the show and leading into it, and you got that, and that's what we did."
I think we're kind of going off topic.
A little bit.
Oh,
What's
that's okay.
AEW Double or Nothing? It's on topic.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast.
This is on topic, but I want to know, Mark, how come you don't call the AEW International belt or the TNT title bronze medals?
Yeah, that's
what
good
I would
question.
like to
Great
know.
question.
Because
I've
they're
seen some
not-
biased.
They're not calling
reporting
that
here.
a world championship.
I feel this is biased report.
Well-
International title. That's.
Well, it's like the Intercontinental title. It's at that level. It's a second tier belt. So there you go.
What is the TNT belt?
Well, yeah, that's the way.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes that.
That's
Yeah, he's like, let me hit
No.
this music. So he shuts up.
Thank you.
Break
time. All right. Hey, we're going to head to break, and then when we come back, we are going to hear from really one of the true legends of women wrestling. Saraya is going to be on the show, so we will be getting to get to hear what we had to say with her. And boy, I'll tell you what, great interview. Had a blast, David and I, doing that one. And thank you to AEW and my buddy John Schneider over there for setting that up. So when we come back, Saraya on the Mark Hoke Show. So stick around for that and a whole lot more with David Difference, Brian Ronovich, and myself, Mark Hoke, on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.